evening. Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Ferguson City Council. The meeting is now called to order. Let us stand for a silent prayer. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Councilwoman Noah.
Here.
Councilwoman Griffin.
Here.
Councilwoman Burrows excused. Councilwoman Robinette.
Here.
Councilwoman Lipka.
Here.
Councilwoman Nelson is excused, and then Mayor Jones.
Here. A quorum is present. Our next item on the agenda is our public comments. Anyone who wished to make a comment, they had an opportunity to send their comments to the city by 5 p.m. on yesterday. So at this time, Clerk Pittman, do we have any comments?
I did receive one comment, and it was from Erica Brooks.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I've seen her on the line yet. And her comment was also sent to you guys. It was quite lengthy, and it will be included in the record, but I do not see her on the line.
Okay. At this time, the public comments section is closed. We're going to move to the manager's report. Our city manager, Eric Ostenberg, you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. I just have one update before I hand it over to our other two chiefs here. Octavia, would you be able to give me the ability to share my screen?
Sure.
Just gonna find the show all windows. There we go. All right, can everybody see this logo? It should say moving Ferguson forward. All right. So I wanted to announce that we have a name for our ARPA outreach campaign now. It will be called Moving Ferguson Forward. This was something that was kind of developed internally with, in conjunction with Parks. Special shout out and thanks to Joe Seastrom as well as Dave Musgrave for kind of coming up with this idea. So within the coming weeks, we will be launching a movingfergusonforward.com domain, and it will serve as the landing page for our ARPA outreach efforts. There will be information about ARPA, an overview about the criteria and the eligibility of how we can use the funds, and then it would also lay out kind of our public engagement campaign that I spoke with council about, which is the series of virtual meetings and then the in-person meetings, one hopefully later this month and then one hopefully in December. So I just wanted to give the community just a brief update about kind of where we are at in that process. That's all for me. I'm going to hand it over to Chief now for the COVID update.
Mayor, Council, a pleasure being here, and thank you, Eric, sir. It'll be pretty brief right now. Our COVID numbers are going down. As of yesterday, we just had over 300 people in the St. Louis area that are hospitalized due to COVID. A third of those are in the ICU and 78 on ventilators. 237 of those were not vaccinated. 9 children, 18 and under are currently hospitalized, with 4 being in ICU. These numbers are still down. These numbers are going down, but still high enough to be a concern, especially those being sick enough to be hospitalized. Currently in Ferguson, we're averaging about 62 cases in Ferguson right now. We need to encourage people to still go get their booster shots when they can at Walgreens or your health provider, especially if you have a compromised immune system. The reality of it is we still need to make sure that we're wearing our mask, that we're keeping social distancing. We can't be lax on this. And if you know of anybody that needs to get vaccinated, please help them if they need a ride or anything like that, please also help them. We do have the homebound program that we are still doing, but as you can see, our numbers are going down. And I've been working with the city manager on potentially doing more in-face or more in-person things. But we're going to look at how our numbers continue in the next couple weeks. And that's all I have.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna have an outdoor event for the children for Halloween?
Dave, I know at the fire department, go ahead, Dave, you can probably answer this a little bit more.
Yes, ma'am. We have planned our normal spooktacular event. It's actually on October 30th from 4 to 8 p.m. It'll be located at the Ferguson Community Center. We've got some parking alternatives. All the information is on our social media website, as well as the brochure that went out to all the residents. So if you have questions, feel free to contact us, but we are planning an in-person outdoor event.
And we can dress up in our costumes, the council.
It is encouraged.
But there was a big report going out this week that, that the holiday season, they do not feel like we are going to be ramping up like we did the last year at this time. So with our numbers coming down with the Delta variant, hopefully on its way out, we're hoping not to see another variant come along. And right now there's nothing that really saying, hey, we got another variant that's going to be as bad as Delta. So hopefully we can keep it that way. Okay, thank you.
I guess I'll go. Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. As far as the police department is concerned, been still pretty busy with a lot of things that have been going on. The thing that I did do for this meeting was I did a comparison for the first quarter of last year as compared to this year, just with two different items that had really brought attention to the PD. And number one was call for service. So from July 1 of 2020 through September 30th of 2020, in comparison to those same days of 2021, our calls for service are down 14%. I would like to attribute that to, like I said, the efforts of the officers trying to be more visible. Granted, 14% is not as much as we would like it to be, but it's showing progress. The second comparison I did was the number of traffic enforcement during the same time period, January 1 through September 30. And I'm happy to say that our traffic enforcement is up 63% from this time last year during that period. I will say that our goal, we're not satisfied with that. I'm not satisfied with that. Our goals, as far as the individual number themselves, to increase, and I foresee that happening once our staffing gets in line and things of that sort. But I want to just show the effort that the officers are making as it relates to the community. Also, since I've been chief, I've had meetings with the Department of Justice, with staff, the city manager, things of that sort. One thing in reference to the consent decree is an emphasis on community engagement. Community engagement, consent decree training, and things of that sort. Thing that I've looked at is possibly getting the department in line to be scheduled and organized that's more conducive with community engagement. Right now, it's been difficult, of course, like I mentioned before, with staffing, but even with staffing, we need to be put in a position or be in a position where officers are able to get out in the community more foot patrols, more bicycle patrols, more engagement. It should not take a scheduled event for us to engage our community. So I'm looking at that, looking at a host of different schedule opportunities, best practices, 21st century policing as well. And like I said, I've met with the city manager, I've talked with the Department of Justice as well. And really it's just about trying to do things more feasible and fiscally responsible, of course, for the department. It's my hope by weekend to have some information for the city manager to review and possible recommendations from myself. But I'm working on that continuously while we manage to do other things as well. But other than that, we're doing what we can do. And I'm at a point, like I said, I'm still confident, very confident in the success of not only the city, but the department as a whole. That's all I have.
Councilwoman Linda Libka.
I just have a question of clarity for you, Chief McCall. When you were talking about your comparison dates for the call of service, I heard, maybe I was wrong, but I heard you say July 2020 through September 2020 compared to the same time frame of this year, that we were down by 14%. And then when you said the number of traffic enforcements, and you said the same time period was in comparison, but you referred to January. So my
Oh.
question is that again, July of?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, that's
so,
July through September.
okay,
The
so
first quarter of our
July,
fiscal year.
okay, so I appreciate that. I was just trying to get some clarity there. So the number of traffic enforcement is up 63% in that same first fiscal period?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Chief McCall, how are we coming along with our response time?
Our response times, they're getting better. It's still longer than what I would like it to be. The things when we really have the issue with our response time is when we get multiple calls at the same time. So we have officers, sometimes they're going from one call to the next call to the next call. So then you have to prioritize the nature of the calls. So we have a active disturbance or active assault in progress, then of course that's going to be a priority call. Or if we have an unresponsive person, that's going to be a priority call, as opposed to maybe loud music.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Lipka, your hand is still up?
I actually put it back up. So
Okay.
I wanted to just ask regarding what Mayor asked you about the response time, and you're saying it's getting better. Is there anything that you could pinpoint that you're doing right now that's different, that's showing improvement?
I would say it's just the timeliness of the completion of calls. I mean, you can have a call for service that can take you anywhere from 10 minutes to a half hour to an hour. It all depends on the nature of the call. But more importantly, it's just the point of allocating your resources properly. And I think we're doing a better job of doing that now.
Okay, so that's awesome to hear that. So what I'm hearing from you is that you're drilling down deep on how you allocate your resources, and you're seeing positive results from that drill down on what you have and what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the other question I have, which is the question that we always ask you, but I always like to hear your update, is where are we on recruitment?
Okay, with recruitment is still a constant process that we're doing. We do have an officer slated to start on the 25th of October. Has completed everything. We have another officer who we're going to be scheduling for their physical, which would be the last portion of the process for them. And we currently have others in background. Right now, we've talked to St. Louis County and the Municipal Police Academy, and I'm trying to get us a minimum of 6 seats for the next class, which is coming up the first of the year. So we're trying to use all options. Our priority, of course, our preference, of course, is post-certified individuals. So we're pushing for that. And as a matter of fact, we also have another officer who is post-certified who's in background now. So hopefully next month, we hopefully could have 3 new additions.
So what would that put our numbers at?
That would put our numbers at about 33 commissioned officers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
City Manager?
Was there any other questions about count from council? All right, well, that concludes our report.
Thank you. At this time, we have a public hearing. The citizens who are interested in speaking, they had an opportunity to submit their comments by Monday, October the 11th at 5:00 p.m. Or they can also note their interest in the chat box or either using the raise hand feature. At this time, we have a special use permit And city manager, would you provide the information regarding the hearing?
Yeah, I will just actually give it the floor to Elliot.
Thank you, Eric. Mayor, members of council, good evening. This is a special use permit request by Ameren to build a new substation at their existing facility at 201 Adams. The code requires that in all downtown districts, that a new projects by utilities require a special use permit, which is why we're here this evening. They've had this site and a facility here since 1960, but it's a new building, and therefore it has to come to you. The applicant is here, so if you have any technical detail questions, I'm going to defer it to him, because just like I don't mess with practice law with a driver's license, I don't mess around with electricity and leave it to the experts. And that's the long and the short of my presentation.
So can we hear from Ameren and just hear what their plans are?
Nathan?
Yes, Nathan Briggs is here, and I also have on the line Steve Underwood and Alfred Lim, who can provide more of the technical expertise for the substation. But Elliot, as you mentioned, and to echo what you said, this is a substation that is being expanded, rebuilt, where we already have an existing substation there at 201 Adams Street. We have recently acquired some additional property that abutted our substation, so we would have room for our project. And Steve and or Alfred, could one of you provide more of a high level technical overview as to the purpose of the project? Steve or Alfred, you may be on mute.
Hi, this is Alfred, project manager for Ameren. Basically, the substation is a rebuild. We have existing equipment that's over 60 years old, and it's just reached its end of its useful life. So the intent is to rebuild the existing site with new technology. It'll allow for auto transfer capabilities. You know, with the built-in technologies now, it'll reduce outage times. If there was a power outage to occur in the area, the equipment can basically communicate and reduce outage time significantly for customer benefit. So that's one of the main goals of the project. Steve, did you have anything to add there? Oh, sure, Steve's on mute, but that's generally a high level overview of the project and some of the benefits. Are there any questions?
I do. Let me get my hand up. There it is.
Okay, do we have any questions from the council?
I got my hand up. I hope you saw it.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Councilwoman Lipper.
So again, I'm gonna agree with Elliot. I do not know near enough about what you guys do. But I do remember that when we had a conversation with a cell phone tower provider, they came to us with a facade of the cell phone tower that blended into our forest background and so we now have this cell phone tower over in our community center that you don't even notice because it looks like a tall tree. That being said, in the rehab or the upgrade of what you guys are going to do, you said you had acquired some land, so I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit bigger than it is now. I don't see any blueprints or anything like that, not that I need to, but what is the facade going to look? How is it going to blend in and be part of the area?
So there's going to be a Maristar fence that'll be surrounding the property. It'll actually hide the equipment versus what's there right now is kind of just like a standard kind of wire fence. So it exposes pretty much, you can drive by and see all the old aged equipment behind the fence. So this will be much more blended as far as hiding any of the equipment from the street, if you will.
Okay. Elliot, are there any aesthetic requirements on something like this?
There aren't, and that's one of the things that we may want to look at when we do the code update, because the form-based code has a long list of design criterion for buildings. But I looked at it backwards and forwards, and it says nothing about utility projects. That may be deliberate, that may not, I don't know, but there is nothing that is written about utility substations.
So I guess I'm just going to ask this again from my don't know all the details. Can Ameren, Alfred, can you all propose or send a proposal over or a rendering of what it would look like? I mean, if there were any concerns, would there be an ability to work with you to maybe, I mean, I'm not asking for anything to be crazy and, we want you to build gold-plated 14-karat gold gate or anything like that. But I mean, just for the aesthetics, because we have a 2040 plan that we're all really trying to focus on, and we're trying to really make every decision that we do as a council be reflective of the future that we want for this community. And so that would include how your substation looks. So though we don't have something on there, and though you don't legally have to do that, would that be something in good faith that you could possibly assist us with?
Sure, and we have pictures. We've used this at other substation sites too. It's kind of like our standard now. So we can definitely send you images or some sort of rendering to look at.
That would be great. If you and Elliot wouldn't mind working on that. And then Elliot, if you just want to give us an FYI as a council, that would be terrific. But I just appreciate that cooperation. So thank you. And I'm done with my questions, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Robinette.
So I think replacing any 60-year-old technology is likely going to be a smaller footprint, hopefully. And as far as the tower goes at the community center, it's not really aesthetically pleasing. So,
It's better than.
No, it's not. It's not good at all. So if there's a fence hiding, what we're putting in here to upgrade and to potentially reduce outages and to reduce, like get us back on track in a much faster manner with all of our weather problems and everything, I think a fence is pretty good. So I applaud that you guys are trying to upgrade, and I think this community could benefit from it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for your comments on that.
Okay. Any other council members? Okay, if none, Clerk Pittman, do we have any comments that were submitted for this public hearing by previously submitting them on yesterday, or raise hand, or something in the chat? Can't hear you, you muted.
Okay, so that wasn't working. I did not have any comments submitted prior to the meeting, but you do have a hand raised.
Okay. Who's, okay.
There's an individual just identified by telephone number.
Okay. Well, let's see who it is. If they comment is pertaining to this public hearing.
Okay, I think I just, go ahead.
Hello, this is Steve. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Can you guys hear me now?
yes.
Okay, sorry, I was muted before. And hey, Alfred Lim, as you know, we're using the Ameristar decorative fence going around the new substation site. And so that's going to provide some very good aesthetics for the area. And also for reliability, like you indicated, it will have what we call an automatic high-side transfer scheme. So it will automatically switch over. So that improves reliability. It does it on the low side. So we have basically an automatic transfer scheme to help keep the power on for the community in the area. So it will be aesthetically pleasing. And like you guys, Alfred indicated, we can provide you with some pictures and stuff like that. So sorry, I was muted before. I couldn't figure out how to get my voice going. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Council Clerk Pittman?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, at this time, we're going to close the public hearing. After hearing all the comments, it's closed. We are going to move to our consent agenda. City Council meeting minutes, special meeting, October the 5th, 2021. Are there any necessary corrections for the minutes? If none, I request a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
So moved, Heather Robinette.
Seconded, Fran Griffin.
It has been properly moved in second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are accepted. We don't have any appointments. However, we have a request. November council meeting, request to cancel November the 23rd, 2021, meeting due to the holiday, and December council meeting, request to cancel December 28th, 2021, meeting due to the holiday. I am requesting a motion and a second to approve the council meeting cancellations.
Fran Griffin, so moved. Laquita, no, a second.
Okay, are you ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Those two meetings are canceled. At this time, we'll have our annual liquor license renewal by Clerk Pittman.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 4 of our businesses in town that have completed the requirements that are looking for approval for their license. And the first one is going to be the Ferguson Almaco BP. The next one is going to be Cracker Barrel. And all of these have licenses. They've had licenses prior to this year. So this is almost a renewal. Next is going to be Morello Convenience and then Kathy's Kitchen.
Where's Murillo Convenience?
They are located at 10901 Old House Ferry Road.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I am requesting a motion and a second to approve the liquor license renewal.
So moved, Fran Griffin.
Second, Heather Robinette.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The liquor license have been renewed. Our next item on the agenda is a proclamation. It's a proclamation proclaiming October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month program is dedicated to increasing public knowledge about the importance of early detection of breast cancer and promote treatment can significantly reduce the suffering and deaths caused by this disease. And whereas in recognition of the fact that a mammogram and x-ray of the breast is the single most effective method of detecting breast changes that may cause cancerous long before physical symptoms can be seen or felt. Now, therefore, I, Ella Jones, Mayor of the City of Ferguson, Missouri, on behalf of the Ferguson City Council, do hereby proclaim the month October 2021 as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you. And ladies, please please go get your mammogram. It's very important. Thank you. We move to our resolutions. Resolution number 2021-29. Without objections, we'll introduce the resolution by council members present. Hear none. Attorney Carey, could you please read the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2021-29. A resolution to hold the general municipal election on Tuesday, April 5th, 2022 in the city of Ferguson, Missouri for the election of 3 council members, 1 from each ward.
City Manager Eric Ostenberg to explain.
I do not have any comments on this, but if Octavia would like to comment, feel free.
Yes, this is the resolution that we adopt annually announcing our election. So this is the resolution for the upcoming election for April the 5th, 2022. And that's going to be, as is stated in the council, for council members for Ward 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. A motion and a second for approval.
So moved, Linda Lipka.
Second, Heather Robinette.
Clerk Pippen, please call the roll.
A few things going on. Sorry about that. Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
and Councilwoman Lipka.
Aye.
Resolution number 2021-29 passes. The next resolution, number 2021-30. Without objection, we're introduced by council members present. Hear none. Attorney Carey, please read the resolution.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2021-30. A resolution of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to transfer ownership of select properties from the city of Ferguson to Sarah Holmes.
City Manager.
Yeah, so this is what we went over with you all earlier this evening around our special session. This is a really great use case for our side lot program. For those of you who weren't in attendance, the city owned a property, a strip of just about 2 feet wide, where we used to have a sidewalk. We no longer have that anymore. We went through the Sarah Holmes approached the city and applied for the property to be transferred over to her. The city staff also reached out to the adjacent property owner on the other side of the property in question and got a signed letter stating from them that they had no interest in having the property themselves. So we think this is a really great use case for this program, and we're hopeful for council support tonight.
Okay. Is there a motion and a second for approval?
So moved, Linda Lipka.
Second, Heather Robinette.
Clerk Pittman, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lipka,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah.
Aye.
Resolution number 2021-30 passes. Resolution 2021-31. Without objection, we're introduced by council members present. Hear none. Attorney Carey, please read the resolution.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2021-31. A resolution of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to sign and execute a contract with Palmer Residential Services LLC for redevelopment of select properties from the city of Ferguson.
City Manager.
I do not have any comments on this one tonight.
Okay, at this
Is-
time,
Wait a minute, can I ask, would this be, just for clarity's sake and make sure everybody understands, this is the properties that were presented to us or the opportunity we had to speak with the developers from the property restoration program, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we make that clear for all of us who are listening.
Yes, yeah, so the next few resolutions are around the getting us through the past the final steps, specifically allowing us to do the quit claim deed for those property owners.
Good question, Councilwoman. A motion and a second for approval.
So moved, Linda Lipka.
I think the dog seconded it, but I'll second it. Heather Robinette.
Okay. Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lipka,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Griffin.
Aye.
Resolution number 2021-31 passes. Resolution number 2021-32. Without objection, we're introduced by council members present. Hearing none, Attorney Carey, could you please read the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2021-30. A resolution of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to sign and execute a contract with Milton Shelter for redevelopment of select properties from the city of Ferguson.
City manager?
This is the other property on the property restoration list before you tonight.
Eric, is this the property that was a employee of the city that wants to rehab a house for his own use?
I'll leave it to Bailey to answer.
Yes, Milton Shetler is a police officer.
Okay,
with
thank
the
you.
city.
At this time, we have a motion and a second for approval.
So moved, Linda Lipka.
Second, Naquita Noah.
Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lipka,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette.
Aye.
Resolution number 2021-32 passes. Resolution number 2021-33. Without objection, were introduced by council members present. Hear none. Attorney Carey, could you please read the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2021-33, a resolution appropriating revenue and amending the 2021-2022 budget.
City manager?
Yes, good evening, City Council. Tonight is before you. Dave Musgraves will be talking, but I can just give a kind of a brief overview ahead of that. Dave is just looking to switch some funds around within his budget to allow for the hiring of 2 new employees. Dave?
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Thank you, Eric. So basically, we're looking to move funds from some part-time staffing lines to full-time staffing lines to allow us to hire for a sports and fitness recreation specialist so we can start getting our sport leagues going again, as well as expand our fitness programs, hopefully for the first of the year when there's a big boom for that. We haven't had this position filled in almost 2 years. We kind of trimmed it out of the budget due to COVID. I was able to look over the budget and find additional dollars in those lines, and we have enough funds to support it. The remaining amount is to hopefully promote a person in the near future, and that will allow us to bring our pool and lifeguards and all those things back in-house down the road. So that's what we're looking for with this resolution. If there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those.
Hear none. A motion and a second for approval.
So moved, Linda Lipka.
Seconded, Frank Griffin.
Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Lipka,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye. Resolution number 2021-33 passes. Bills requiring first reading. Bill number 7215. Without objection, we are introduced by council members present. Hear none. Attorney Carey, could you please read the bill by title only?
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 7215. An ordinance of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, granting a special use permit to Ameren to build a new substation on the site of their existing facility at 201 Adams Street, subject to the conditions, restrictions, and requirements set forth herein.
City Manager,
No additional comments. This was before you tonight. Elliot, did you have anything to add?
I do not.
at this time, no action is taken for the first reading. We are going to move to any unfinished business. Hear none. Do we have any new business? Hear none. We'll move to miscellaneous. Start with Councilwoman Noah.
Hi, everyone. Just right quick. I just want to say thanks for the side lot program. I think that's really going to be great for the community. So thanks Bailey and Elliot and Eric. And we mentioned this earlier, but Parks is having their annual Halloween event, and they are asking for candy donations, unopened new bags of candy to pass out to the kids on October 30th. So if anyone wants to donate, that would be nice. The HRC Human Rights Commission, we will be at the farmers market this Saturday. We'll have a table set up if anyone wants to stop by, and those nominations for Human Rights Advocate of the Year are due on October 18th to Mrs. Tony Dupree. And lastly, we were able, the mayor was like, Saturday, there's a senior. She called about a senior in Ward 1. Her home was getting some repairs by Rebuild Together. And it was an awesome event. And we just want to say thank you to Rebuild Together for helping our seniors in Ferguson. And lastly, where is the Ferguson Senior Assistance Program? Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Griffin.
I have nothing to add at this time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Robinette.
I would just like to say that I attended an event at Earth Dance over the weekend, and the fact that they're partnering with the Ferguson Florissant School District to bring agriculture and culinary teaching into the program at the Innovation High School, that's really thrilling. So I just like these grassroots kind of events that come up and take hold, and really proud to support them year after year. They do get a lot of my money, but it's for a good reason. So I just want to congratulate them for being around and being such a big part of this community.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lipka.
Yes, ma'am. Wanted to let people know that I think it was already mentioned at one time tonight, Trunk or Treat is going to be happening on, let's see, that is going to happen on, hush my mouth, hold on just a minute. They don't have a date on here, so I'm assuming it's going to be on Halloween, but it's from 6 to 8 at Ferguson Baptist Church. And then there's also a Trunk or Treat at Ferguson Presbyterian on Halloween from 1 to 4. So if you're really smart and strategic, you can go from 1 to 4 at one church, then go hit up some other places, and then go over to the Baptist church, and you're going to have all kinds of heavenly calories. So it's going to be awesome. Also want to invite our business owners, managers, and employees to the FSBD quarterly meeting that will be held on October 18th from 5:30 to 6:30 at Exotic Trends. And then also want to say thank you to all of our department heads. The work you guys are doing has just been outstanding, and I appreciate the momentum that has already been embraced and just firing up and moving the city forward. And I appreciate Eric for being at the helm of that. So keep it up, sir. And I want to take a minute to just say that my heart and prayers are with Tony and her family at the loss of her sister. So if you could please keep her in your prayers. This is not a time to hold grudges. This is a time to hold each other up. So if we could all just say a prayer for one another, including Tony, that would be great. And finally, I'm going to try not to get choked up, but I really want to thank the city of Ferguson for acknowledging breast cancer awareness. My mother is a breast cancer survivor. And it seemed like when she went through it in 1990, she was at the top of the technology at the time, but now you look back at it in 2021 and it was archaic compared to what it is now. And I pray that all of the advancements will help my niece who just got diagnosed a couple of days ago, and she's 31 years old and a mother of 3. So I'm just really hoping that the technology of breast cancer awareness and survival will definitely do its part for her as well as everybody else who is fighting this battle. So didn't mean to get choked up, but it does hit home. So thank you very much.
Okay. Clerk Pittman, do you have anything to share?
I do. I have a couple of things. First, to our council, for the announcements that are being made tonight, if it's not something that I have, if you would please send those items to me so we can get those advertised and even recorded in the record properly, because we go through them kind of quick during miscellaneous. Next, since we did cancel 2 of the council meetings, I just want to announce for the public the council meetings that we're going to have for November. The November council meeting is going to be the 2nd Tuesday, so November the 9th. And then the December council meeting is also on the 2nd Tuesday. It's going to be December the 14th. Last, I need to announce, of course, we adopted the election process again for this year for April the 5th, 2020. So, you know, we've had some changes with legislator. It changed the opening and the closing, the filing dates and so forth. So that's going to make some changes here for us in the city. I've sent you guys some information and I think it warrants a deeper conversation. We don't have to have it right now, but I would be looking forward to doing something like that in the future. So if you haven't, please read through the materials that I sent you so that way we can get something scheduled. But for the public, I'll say that the election process is starting. I will have the packets available November 1st. They'll be available for pickup in the city clerk's office so that you know the new filing dates this year. The opening date is going to be Tuesday, December the 7th. And the closing date is going to be Tuesday, December the 28th. And I'll make the announcement again next month, but I wanted to make sure that I got it out there now. That the packets, the petition packets will be available in the city clerk's office beginning November 1st. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Clerk Pittman. Chief McCall, you have anything you would like to add?
No, ma'am, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Chief Hampton?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
City Manager?
Nothing to add.
Okay, well, I'll close it out by saying congratulations to Chief McCall for being appointed to the Major Case Squad Board. That is a major appointment. And I'm so glad that we went to the seminar to understand about the Major Case Squad. I think we had something to do with that. But anyway, that's all I have for tonight. We do have a closed session. However, to our residents, we would like to say good night and we will see you later.
Octavia,
Bye.
did you send over information on the closed session for the Zoom? Because I don't have it.
Yeah, it was in the original packet. I can resend it to you guys now. But before we adjourn, I will need the motion and second to go into closed session.
Right. I was just saying good night.
Okay.
At this time, I am requesting a motion and a second to go into closed session pursuant to 610.021 subsection 1 to discuss legal matters.
So
So
moved.
moved. Frank Griffin.
Second, Heather Robinette.
Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Yes. Am I starting? Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
and Councilwoman Lepka.
Aye.
We're now into closed session and good night again. Take care.